Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault.
And I'm Andrew Chang. Tonight, a critical moment in the case of two Canadians imprisoned in China.
Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor will go to trial in just days.
We are running out of time.
Tonight, reaction from loved ones. The clock is ticking. What options are left for Ottawa?
Also tonight, terror in Atlanta and fear reverberates across the United States after a shooting rampage leaves 8 dead, most of them Asian women.
A jaw-dropping job posting for orderlies in Quebec, asking for white applicants only.
It's not only illegal, it's immoral. It goes against every principle of healthcare.
And unwrapping the truth about Buttergate. Palm oil took the blame for harder butter. We go inside the lab to find out what's really going on. This is The National. For more than 2 years, Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig have languished in Chinese prisons, held in isolation, denied access to lawyers, subject to harsh interrogations, lights in their cells, sometimes kept on 24 hours a day.
What was already an unbearable situation is about to get worse. The two men will be put on trial just days from now. Both are charged with spying, charges largely seen as trumped up, with Spavor and Kovrig being used as collateral, retaliation for the arrest and extradition hearing of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou in Canada. And as David Cochran shows us, this latest move makes pawns of the Canadian men again.
It has seemed inevitable that Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig would go to trial. And now, after more than 2 years in Chinese prisons, Spavor goes to court on Friday, Kovrig on Monday.
This underscores the urgency. This shows that, there is a real process and there are lives on the line. And as we do what we can and engage in diplomacy and kind of move the system here, other things are moving ahead and we are running out of time.
Running out of time because the outcome also seems inevitable.
We know that it's preordained because once you are formally charged in China, you are found guilty in more than 99.2% of the cases.
It is obvious that the two Michaels were arrested on trumped-up national security charges.
Canada's position is these charges are retaliation for the arrest of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou, currently under house arrest in her Vancouver mansion, facing extradition to the United States.
Human beings are not bartering chips. We're going to work together until we get their safe return.
President Joe Biden has demanded their release, and this trial news comes on the eve of high-level meetings between the U.S. and China, as top officials from both countries will meet in Alaska in an attempt to reset the U.S.-China relationship.
And I think the timing is not accidental. Clearly, the Chinese wanted to send a message to the Americans.
In a statement, Foreign Affairs Minister Marc Garneau condemned these detentions as arbitrary and said Canada was deeply disturbed by the lack of transparency. Canadian officials say none of this changes their ultimate goal to see Spavor and Kovrig released and returned home as quickly as possible. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
So you heard Vina Nadjibulla, Michael Kovrig's wife and biggest advocate in David's piece. She joins us now. Vina, we all know how hard you have been fighting for Michael, and this is not news you needed or wanted. And I think all Canadians are wondering how you are and how the family is managing.
Thank you, Adrienne. It has been an incredibly difficult few days, a difficult day. We are hanging in. We are staying strong and determined, as we know Michael would want us to be. He has shown incredible resilience and courage through all of this. And as overwhelming as today feels, I keep holding on to that and remembering that we will get through this, and this latest development will not stop us from fighting for freedom, and I believe very soon, hopefully very soon, securing that freedom.
But Vina, what does this in real terms mean for him?
Well, it's hard to imagine how he will take the news. Like I said, it's difficult for us here but we have the benefit of each other and support from so much family and friends. He's on his own. So my main worry is that he maintains his incredible mental resilience and sees this as a development, a significant development, but one that will not change the ultimate objective, which is to secure his freedom. His detention is arbitrary and unjust, and no matter what transpires in court on Monday, that fact does not change. Our government has made that very clear, and I hope this will give extra determination, if we ever needed it, to keep pressing and to urgently bring this to an end.
All right, Vina, thank you again for your time. Vina Nadjibulla is Michael Kovrig's wife and his biggest advocate.
Well, after months of a widespread racial reckoning, it's hard to imagine any Canadian employer would list white skin as a job qualification. It's even harder to believe when the offending body is a publicly funded hospital. But those are the facts behind a story shaking up Quebec, the latest in a quick series of controversies in its healthcare system. Sarah Levitt shows us a government that won't call it racism.
From the Deputy Premier of Quebec,
very unacceptable,
to the Director General of the Laurentians Regional Health Authority,
complètement inacceptable.
The condemnation was clear following a La Presse report. 10 times the Laurentians Health Authority sent out ads hoping to recruit patient attendants, but with one crucial condition: must be a white woman. Will accept only women with white skin. Capitalized, bolded, highlighted, noting that one difficult patient in particular would not accept care from any other race. Is this illegal?
Of course, it's illegal. It's not only illegal, it's immoral.
Which laws in particular?
The Quebec Charter of Human Rights and Freedom, the Quebec Mandatory Employment Equity Law, a lot of the code of ethics of professions such as nursing and doctors.
Quebec's Human Rights Commission took the opportunity to remind the health authority involved the ads break at least 14 points in the charter.
The social workers, the government will clearly write on their requests, do not send somebody black, do not send, we prefer white person only on the file.
Despite the condemnation from his colleagues, Quebec's newly appointed Minister to Combat Racism says, don't be too hasty with reactions.
Avant de conclure un geste raciste, faut attendre les résultats dans l'enquête.
Yesterday, 2 nurses in Joliette were fired after taunting an Atikamekw woman with racist insults, echoing a separate incident from last fall. Over the weekend, a black woman died in hospital care after posting videos saying she'd been treated with penicillin despite her dangerous allergy to the antibiotic. The deputy premier avoided a question about whether these cases are signs of a deeper problem, instead reiterating a plan to provide cultural security training to all healthcare workers. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
Police in Atlanta, Georgia say the motive is still unclear in a shooting rampage in 3 Atlanta area spas. But as Katie Simpson shows us, that the victims were predominantly Asian women is sparking fresh fear in a community already on edge.
8-month-old Mia will grow up without her mother. Delana Yan died in the shooting rampage. She also leaves behind a 13-year-old son, a husband, and devastated parents.
This is our son. Just pray for my family. Pray that we can get through this.
Police say 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long admitted to being responsible for the killings at 3 separate spas that left 8 dead. 7 of the victims are women. 6 are of Asian descent.
A crime against any community is a crime against us all.
Police say they are not classifying this right now as a hate crime because the suspect allegedly told them this wasn't about race.
He apparently has an issue, what he considers a sex addiction, and sees these locations as something that allows him to go to these places, and it's a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate.
But the shootings have further fueled fears in Asian American communities about racially motivated attacks, so much so that police in New York City stepped up patrols in some neighborhoods as a precaution.
I do want to say to our Asian American community that we stand with you and understand how this has frightened and shocked and outraged all people.
I don't think that the specific motivations of this case matter when it comes to the pain that it has caused in this community and the larger context of what has been happening to Asians in America over the past year.
Anti-Asian hate crimes have spiked in the pandemic. For many, the combination of racism and misogyny in this case cannot be ignored.
I call it a racist attack, of course, because nothing can be separated from the dynamics of race here and of gender here.
Police say this could have been even worse. The suspect was headed to Florida when he was arrested, with plans, allegedly, to carry out more attacks. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
Well, tonight, Canada's armed forces face a crisis of morale. Fallout from the high-level resignation we told you about last night. Lieutenant Colonel Eleanor Taylor, a distinguished combat veteran, angrily calling out sexism and sexual misconduct in the military and the failure of leadership to keep women safe. Here's Murray Brewster.
It's hard to understate Lieutenant Colonel Eleanor Taylor's stature. A combat veteran, a special forces leader, role model for women and men. Her words have weight, especially tonight. I am requesting my release from the CAF. I am sickened by ongoing investigations of sexual misconduct among our key leaders. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. Words that went off like a bombshell.
I actually spoke at length with her. We had a mutual friend connect us.
Survivors of sexual assault in the military are heartbroken to see one of their champions acknowledge she's had enough empty talk.
I will say flat out, we are angry. We're angry with being ignored. We're angry this problem is still happening.
From the Defense Department tonight, a rare personal tribute. Her departure will be felt by the Canadian Army as a whole. From one of those with whom she served, a warning that no one should underestimate the impact on already strained morale.
I know that this will be a hard message for folks to swallow because of her credibility and her experiences, and that she took this kind of step towards really saying she could no longer serve in the organization is a real indictment of, I think, the Canadian Forces at this point.
The Liberal government promised for over a month a wide-ranging independent investigation of sexual misconduct in the military. The NDP says it's tired of waiting and wants a parliamentary committee to look specifically at how the crisis is affecting women in uniform.
Women are giving up their entire careers because they can't do it anymore. They can't fight it anymore. They're scared. And they deserve that equal ability to serve their country and to serve in the armed forces.
If adopted, this would be the second parliamentary investigation launched into military sexual misconduct, on top of at least 2 military police investigations.
Okay, and Murray, what else are you hearing tonight from your sources in the military?
Well, Andrew, there is growing concern about confidence in leadership. There is a who's next mentality that has sort of begun to develop within the military. I had one member describe it to me as though the CAF is on fire and it's being allowed to burn. And they're waiting and they're hoping that the government is going to come and put out the flames with that wide-ranging, soul-searching investigation that's been promised. Folks in the uniform say that it's very critical.
Murray Brewster, thank you.
To COVID-19 now, and the single word on the lips of public health officials countrywide, variants. Officially, there are more than 4,000 variant cases across Canada, but there are thousands more presumed cases. And just like the start of the pandemic a year ago, we are only beginning to understand their impact. Screening for variants is different between provinces, and it takes time, but this is what we know. In BC, they have detected nearly 1,000 variant cases. That number nearly double what it was a week ago. In Alberta, nearly 1,100, up 37% over the past week. Saskatchewan has confirmed 136, Manitoba 65. Both those numbers triple what they were a week ago, with many more cases suspected. In Ontario and Quebec, add together the confirmed cases with the presumptive cases, and you get numbers in the thousands. And it's estimated variants make up about half of Ontario's new cases every day. The fear is, effectively, we face a supercharged virus just as restrictions relax. Rafi Boudjikanian shows us how we are already seeing rampant spread with deadly consequences.
The outbreak at this Edmonton care home has been driven by variants, and it's killed 9 residents so far. But the threat from variants isn't confined to older adults. A 30-year-old died after a strain tore through this private student residence in Ontario.
What happened is absolutely tragic. Community members starting to receive the vaccine and things are starting to roll out across the province, which is giving people hope, but this is still a reality.
Then there is Regina, where public health officials say 90% of cases are variants.
There isn't a whole lot of, idea that we're going to contain this to Regina.
Alberta is home to almost a quarter of Canada's lab-confirmed variant cases, prompting caution.
Unfortunately, we're seeing cases go up, and we see them going up quite quickly.
All of it weighing on the minds of business owners too, who are cautiously preparing to reopen.
The worst thing that can happen for us after a long dark winter and really a year of the pandemic is to move too fast and then have to go backwards.
Public health officials say that as long as variants have room to spread, they will, meaning the possibility of moving back to lockdowns is very real. Rafi Bujikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
But there is good news on the COVID front tonight as well. Across the country, signs of a vaccine ramp up. In Toronto, 3 mass vaccination sites open today, each capable of administering hundreds of doses a day, with plans to expand to thousands in the coming weeks. And in New Brunswick, vaccinations are now happening at pharmacies, part of a push to vaccinate everyone, starting with older seniors like Corey Hudson.
When everybody has a shot, if I had the health and the strength, I'd like to go to Cuba.
That Cuba vacation likely still a long way off. But across Canada, daily vaccinations have now shot up 5-fold since early February to an average of more than 100,000 a day. And we will take you behind the scenes of the vaccine rollout ramp up and unpack all the logistics involved so governments can keep their promise to you about a Canada Day deadline that's coming up in about 10 minutes' time.
Iran has released its final report on the downing of Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752. It blames human error, saying the plane was misidentified as a hostile target. But Canada's transport minister is not satisfied.
There are a lot of unanswered questions remain unanswered, and it is frustrating for the families.
All 176 passengers and crew members, including 138 people with ties to Canada, died in the crash. Tomorrow, the Transportation Safety Board will deliver its own review of the Iran report. And the government is facing growing pressure to bring home Canadian children stuck in Syrian detention camps. Today, the Minister of Justice said the government won't be changing its approach.
When we assess these situations, we also have to look at methods which don't put any Canadian diplomats or others at risk, at their own physical risks.
This weekend, a former U.S. diplomat helped free a 4-year-old Canadian girl from a Syrian camp. Human rights activists have been calling on Canada to move nearly 24 more Canadian children held in detention camps for the families of ISIS fighters. With the court-ordered deadline looming, the Senate passed a bill tonight expanding access to medical assistance in dying. Senators accepted a revised version of Bill C-7, which now offers access to medical assistance in dying to people who are suffering intolerably but not approaching the natural end of their lives.
Conservative leader Erin O'Toole is about to face his first policy convention this weekend since becoming leader. But he'll go into that virtual meeting facing a big challenge from within his own party. Catherine Cullen shows us why.
Do you know who this is? Probably not.
And that is problem number 1.
All right, next Prime Minister.
Erin O'Toole had big hopes when he became Conservative leader.
You're going to be seeing and hearing a lot from me in the coming weeks and months.
But according to the Conservatives' own ad, he's still introducing himself.
Just Erin.
Well, there is an element of the unknown.
Yes, the pandemic has focused the spotlight on the Prime Minister, but O'Toole's problems go beyond that, says this pollster.
As he tries to move the party to the center, he's really being squeezed by both ends. Grassroots Conservatives don't love where he's going, and left-of-center voters that he's trying to woo, they're just not there yet.
O'Toole made that pitch from the first moments he became leader.
Maybe you have voted for a different party your whole life or have never voted at all. It is time for more Canadians to look at the Conservative Party again.
But challenges persist. Take social issues. The last leader was criticized for a lack of clarity.
I am personally pro-life, but I've also made the commitment that as leader of this party, it is my responsibility to ensure that we do not reopen this debate.
O'Toole has tried to avoid any uncertainty.
I'm pro-choice, and I've always stood for rights of Canadians.
But anti-abortion activists are now pushing to change the party's constitution, even considering legal action they say could delay O'Toole's first convention.
I don't think he has delivered on his promise to welcome social conservatives and to make them a respected and valued part of the Conservative team.
Then there's the question of a divide even from Conservative MPs. No one is taking O'Toole to task publicly.
We have a united caucus and a united party.
But behind the scenes, a growing number of MPs say they're frustrated with O'Toole, unclear on his plans. And so O'Toole will address the convention Friday with that question looming. Just who is Erin O'Toole? Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, Toronto police may be inching closer to solving a murder case that has gone unsolved for nearly 4 decades.
We believe our genealogists at this point have identified the 8 great-grandparents of our offender.
Coming up, the DNA database that police are using to narrow in on a suspect. Plus,
we are seeing vaccine nationalism take hold in certain areas of the world.
The challenges of getting vaccines on the tarmac. Are provinces ready for the surge of doses?
but first, remember Buttergate? Well, palm oil may not be the only culprit.
Why has that composition changed?
Butter put to the test with some surprising results. We're back in 2.
Welcome back. An update now on a Canadian dairy controversy. For months, observant foodies have been claiming that butter is getting more firm, less spreadable. Some experts blamed palm oil added to cow feed. Now, the National and Marketplace have exclusive access to lab tests that show the answer might not be so simple. Here's David Common.
Most cows don't end up with their own promotional video, but the test results show their milk churns out butter much softer than many other popular brands in Ontario. Their farm, one of the very few to be certified as primarily grass-fed. What cows eat has been a hot topic. Is palmitic acid derived from palm oil and added for decades to cow feed to boost milk production and fat content, actually making butter harder? The answer, after testing 17 sample brands, is yes, it is a factor, but far from the only one. Professor Alejandro Marangoni did find that palmitic levels are higher than they've been in some past records.
My question is, why has that composition changed?
So, if it's not palmitic acid causing hardness, what is? Well, many food scientists are eyeing a 12% jump in demand over the pandemic, which may prompt butter makers to speed manufacturing. And that would harden butter.
They're actually going to have to do things in the processing that's actually going to have an impact on the quality of the butter.
A surge in robotic milking may also make the end product harder because fats don't have as much time to form in the udder. None of this answers the question about whether cows should be eating palm oil, a now long-standing practice at many farms. But it is something the country's powerful dairy industry is now suggesting farmers change, at least for the time being. David Common, CBC News, Guelph, Ontario.
Okay, well, coming up, the logistics dance of moving millions of vaccine doses.
There's not enough product, and people want it.
Getting doses off the runway and into arms. Will Canada meet its summer goal? Stay with us. Well, governments have made a big promise to Canadians. At least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine injected into every eligible adult by Canada Day. Today alone, the number rose by more than 164,000 doses, but they are going to have to seriously speed up to meet that summer target. Tonight, David Cochran takes us inside the machinery of vaccination and shows us what it'll take.
It's just before dawn on the tarmac at Pearson Airport, and FedEx has just delivered 466,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine. The rookie cabinet minister leading Canada's vaccine procurement effort is here to greet them.
What we're seeing is that the provinces and territories are telling us that they are ready, they want more vaccine, and that's exactly what we as a federal government are aiming to do.
Deliveries are starting to ramp up after a sluggish start that saw Canada plunge in the global vaccine rankings, creating enormous pressure to deliver.
This is the most important thing I have ever done, and it is my sole focus all day and all night, and will be until we have enough vaccines in this country for every single Canadian.
Getting vaccines into the country is one challenge. Getting them into people's arms is another.
You arrive here, this is where people enter, then they'll go to the registration. So this site and the 7 other sites, we're estimating between 1,200 and 1,400 people a day we should be able to vaccinate.
Anthony DeMonte is in charge of the vaccine rollout for the city of Ottawa. This is one of the 7 hockey rinks or community centers he's prepped for vaccinations, with even more in reserve.
Right now the plan is from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, but we could do 24/7. We just don't know for 24/7 if there will be demand. I don't know how practical it is to come at 2 in the morning.
I'd come at 2 in the morning. I'd come at 3 in the morning. I'd bring my kids if that's what it took. What would it take for you to make that jump? I mean, do you have the human resources to be able to go 24/7? Is it just a question of supply?
Yeah, so it's a question of supply.
Supply remains the central question, especially with every province now promising every eligible person a single dose by Canada Day. It's what the Prime Minister calls the big lift, and if you do the math, you can see why. If you give credit for the 8 million doses the country will receive by the end of March, that still leaves 23 million Canadians who need to be vaccinated between April and June. That's 255,000 people a day, 7 days a week from April 1st to Canada Day. What keeps you up at night as you prepare this?
You know, we're in a situation now because there's not enough product and people want it, and we want to protect our community as quickly as possible.
Meaning DeMonte can't deliver until Anand does.
Being here and seeing the doses coming off the plane means that it is going to happen. Doses are going into arms in the very near term.
It's taken a long time to get to that near term, and there are still threats to this fragile supply chain. The United States is hoarding vaccines, not letting doses leave until there's enough for every American. The European Union has imposed export controls. It can block exports if European demand isn't met. This Moderna shipment started in Madrid, then routed through Paris, then Indianapolis, before getting here. How certain are you that we're going to be okay as a country in terms of supply from this point on?
I spend every day looking at delivery schedules for this very reason. We are seeing vaccine nationalism take hold in certain areas of the world, including in Europe and to an extent the United States, and we've got to make sure that Canada's supply chain is protected.
When do you think you'll finally be able to sleep at night?
I think probably summertime, end of summer. I'll be back to regular sleeping hours.
Until then, the big lift remains her biggest challenge. David Cochran, CBC News, Mississauga, Ontario.
Coming up, a different kind of big lift, one for the spirit instead.
This is a superhero workout.
She has been fighting for her life and inspiring millions on TikTok.
Be brave.
We catch up with Bella and her mom about their message of hope. Stay with us. Welcome back. Farmers in India have attracted the world's attention with months-long protests against government laws they say strip them of their livelihoods. But Hidden behind those headlines is another crisis, decades in the making. Salima Shivji is in India's Punjab state tonight and shows us devastating consequences for farmers and their families.
Kiran Kaur and her brother are as close as two siblings can be. These 3 acres are what bind them together in hardship and loss. Wheat and cotton fields that yield little profit. It's where their father toiled and where he took his own life. These 3 acres where as a child, Kiran would rush to see her father every day after school.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਸੀਗਾ 2016 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 17 ਤੱਕ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਤਾ.
It was Amrit, only 15 at the time, who found his father and desperately tried to save him. The burden of tending to the farm now falls on his shoulders. This is not the life he wanted. I was forced into this, he says. My first choice was to join the army. Kiran's father was one of her best friends, her confidant, but he kept secret the crippling debt he was struggling to manage from everyone. Things were falling apart, but I never thought this would hit us, Kiran's mother says. And yet the decades-long suicide crisis gripping India's farmers has hit Kiran's extended family hard. 3 brothers out of 4 killed themselves, leaving behind 3 widows. Nearly every village here is a hotspot, the suicide crisis inescapable. Farmers own meager plots of land, and for the vast majority, the costs far outweigh the gains. Taking your life with the pesticide sulfus is so common, this expert on agrarian distress says the word has become linguistic shorthand for suicide.
We roughly have some 12,000 farmers and rural workers committing suicide every year.
An unfathomable number, some 30 people a day in a country where trying to kill yourself is illegal. And the pandemic has only deepened the crisis.
Your cost of production has gone up, and then you're being made to compete with the world. And that has squeezed incomes of farmers so much that they're basically being forced to commit suicide.
Forced by spiraling debt, a system that's broken, and no other job options. It's why tens of thousands of India's farmers are camped out in protest against the government's new farm laws that they say will further push them into ruin. Kiran knows that anguish all too well. Her grief drove her to activism. She regularly makes the rounds here, this time speaking with a group of widows from another hard-hit village in Punjab. The tone is light, the topic serious. They joke that India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi need only come talk to them to understand the life of a farmer.
ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੁਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵਿਡੋਜ਼ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਾਰਮਲੀ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ ਨੇਗੀਆਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ.
She is listening, traveling to villages all over her home state, explaining to widows their rights. This woman lost her husband 2 years ago. Paying the bills is a constant struggle, and her grandchildren feel the effects. For Kiran, it brings home why she's here, doing what she thinks her father would have wanted.
ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਭਾਰਨਾ ਹੈ.
To stop others from feeling lost with no other options out. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mansa, Punjab.
Violence against women dominated questions in the British House of Commons today. The Prime Minister said public reaction to Sarah Everard's murder is wholly justified, and what is needed is a cultural change.
That unless and until we have a change in our culture that acknowledges and understands that women currently do not feel they are being heard, we will not fix this problem.
33-year-old Everard disappeared in early March as she was walking home in South London. Her body was found 9 days later. The case has prompted a huge outpouring of grief and anger directed at police and society as a whole. In Russia, where victims of domestic violence receive very little attention, it is rare for one woman's case to stand out. But that is the story of Margarita Gracheva. And because what happened to her is so barbaric, her resilience is all the more extraordinary. 18 months after we first brought you her story, we met her again and discovered her life has been transformed. But as Chris Brown explains, the situation for other abuse victims in Russia is likely worse than ever. And a warning, some of the images in the story are disturbing.
It's been a grueling day under the hot lights of the TV studio, and Margarita Gracheva is exhausted. But as her maimed body can attest, she has endured far worse in her life. I've lived through the pain, the fear, the hate, but I survived, she says, in a promo for Bliskie Ludi, or Intimate People, a show she's the co-host of. It might be a first for Russia, a program that tries to help women deal with abusive partners.
У нас будет и случай с домашним насилием, где муж выдавил глаза и откусил ухо, и там срок всего 5 лет, и не лишают родительских прав, и я надеюсь, с помощью огласки мы сможем что-то изменить.
We first met Gracheva 18 months ago in St. Petersburg. We wanted to check in on her recovery.
Хочу открыть, представляю, вот он открывается. Хочу закрыть, он закрывается.
In December 2017, her ex-husband, convinced she was having an affair, attacked her 40 times with an axe. He severed both of her hands. One was reattached but now has little movement. The other could not be saved, and she now uses an artificial one. He got 14 years in jail, but it took a sadistic attack before authorities acted. She hoped telling the story might spur a move to help abused women, and this program suggests maybe there's some progress.
Пожалуйста, помогите.
This woman, Vera, whose husband kidnapped her kids and threatened to kill her, got to the safety of a shelter after appearing on the program. But so many of the cases are horrific. Here, a woman whose daughter was stabbed 57 times by her policeman husband can't hold back her anguish, leaving Gracheva distraught as well. She told us the job does not come easy to her, but co-host Leonid Zakoshansky says guests gain strength from Gracheva's resilience.
She's a very strong Russian woman. She's a woman of spirit.
Независимо от программы, получала до того, вот как 3 года там от моей трагедии, ну, в неделю стабильно 2-3 раза пишут с криком о помощи, но чаще всего это домашнее насилие, не знают, что делать и куда бежать.
Still, beyond Gracheva's own success with her program, other progress for women coping with family violence has not been as promising.
In Russia, the penalties for spousal abuse are akin to getting a speeding ticket. Restraining orders are all but non-existent, and a recent push to try to change the legislation has since fizzled.
As well, groups that have been pushing to change the laws have recently been labeled foreign agents by the Kremlin, implying they're enemies of Russia. Anna Ravina runs a Moscow nonprofit that supports victims. She says the political environment for groups like hers is now openly hostile.
They believe that we want to ruin Russian families. They believe that this is something from the West, something about Me Too, about feminism, about not common for Russian society.
Alexander Dobrovinsky, a prominent criminal lawyer, volunteered to be part of Gracheva's show. He says, as demoralizing as it seems, programs like this are essential for changing attitudes.
That it's much more easy to change the law than to change the mentality. When you change the mentality, it takes much more time than everything else.
Gracheva's own resilience will no doubt continue to inspire many, and on that front, the news is bright. She's now remarried. She and her new husband posted this romantic video on social media with the implicit message for other abused women that they too can be happy again. Chris Brown, CBC News, Moscow.
Well, coming up, the fascinating way Toronto police are coming closer to cracking a cold case.
as we progress, we were able to do more with less with DNA evidence.
New genetic testing that could find justice for 2 women killed nearly 40 years ago. Stay with us. Welcome back. Genetic genealogy has become a powerful tool in solving cold cases. Shake the family tree and a killer may fall out. Now, Toronto police believe it's helped them get close to identifying the person behind the murders of 2 women 37 years ago. The Fifth Estate has been following the investigation. Here's Bob McEwen.
In August 1983, 45-year-old Susan Tice was stabbed to death in her Toronto home.
The body of Toronto native Aaron Gilmore was...
A few months later, 22-year-old Aaron Gilmore was killed in her apartment. Toronto police were assigned to get quick arrests in both murders.
And we're hopeful and feel confident that we can solve this murder.
But that didn't happen.
Unfortunately, at the time, they didn't have the luxury of DNA evidence. We didn't really start to use DNA evidence until the early mid-90s. And as we progress, we were able to do more with less with DNA evidence.
It would be nearly 20 years before advances in DNA technology would link the 2 cases. Semen found at the crime scenes was from the same man. And now, another 20 years later, genetic genealogy may finally reveal who that man is. What began as a way for families to trace their ancestry has become a key investigative tool for police. And genetic genealogy has narrowed the DNA sample from the Gilmore and Tice killings from thousands of partial connections to just hundreds. And Toronto police are confident they are now close to identifying the killer.
We believe our genealogists at this point have identified the 8 great-grandparents of our offender.
We positively confirmed the identification of the person responsible for the DNA sample found on Christine's underwear.
The same process last year finally led Toronto police to conclude a family acquaintance named Calvin Hoover had killed Christine Jessup in 1984.
So this door back here.
Police say it's not clear how long it might take to finish tracking this family tree, but they believe it will be soon. A comfort to the Gilmore and Tice families, and a sign of hope for the families of nearly 700 other cold case victims in Toronto alone. Bob McEwen, CBC News, Toronto.
And you can see Bob's full investigation tomorrow night on The Fifth Estate, The Gene Hunters, how Toronto police are mining family ancestry to hunt down a killer. That's at 9 p.m., 9:30 in Newfoundland on CBC Television and CBC Gem.
Coming up, the 7-year-old girl from Saskatchewan inspiring people around the world. It's Bella in our moment. Next. Well, there she is. This is Bella. She lives in Swift Current, Saskatchewan with her family. She loves to sing and dance. And Bella caught the attention of Good Morning America and soared to stardom on TikTok. She is living with multiple medical conditions, but her family wants people to see her shine. And does she ever? A Moment with Bella is our moment.
The response has been, we love seeing Bella and the joy that she has. She brings a smile to my face when I'm having a hard day. The messages I get are just so kind and so sweet, and it's just amazing. We go through hard stuff. Bella goes through hard medical stuff, surgeries, procedures all the time, and her joy is a light, so we want to share that, right? Yeah. Our main message is be brave, right? Be brave. This little girl right here, my daughter, has showed me ultimately what bravery really means, what it means to be a medical warrior, and I'm just proud of her and all she does for other people too.
Yeah, so when you woke up this morning, you may not have known that you needed to see little Bella strut her stuff, but hey, we thought you might, so you're welcome.
We all need a little Bella all the time. Bella, you have moves. 21 surgeries in 7 years. You know, Bella, you are amazing, as are you, Mom. That is a national for March 17th. Good night.
Good night.